We're good again. Go ahead.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back. 1-0 count for Kenty facing Mac Lewis. That pitch is up 2-0 on Lewis. Runner on first is Herb. No outs in the inning. Big train up 1-0. The 2-0. High again, so 3 straight misses for Kenty. Mac Lewis up in the count 3-0.
Mac Lewis, last time he played, struck out 3 times, went hitless against the Aces, but his first time he played went 3 for 3 against the Grays.
The 3-0 pitch right down the middle for a called strike.
And that's one that you don't think Mac Lewis is going to swing at anyway. Just see what the offering pitch might look like. That one a little bit further inside against the lefty.
Kenty picks off. Herb gets back easily. Looks like Kenty is sitting 86-87, reaching 88-89 to start the game on that fastball, Jish.
And we've seen these pitchers just throw harder and harder as these games go on. I'm sure that might jump to 90.
3-1 pitch is inside, so Lewis walks, and that sets up the Cropdusters with first and second and no outs.
It's encouraging to start off, Jack. A really well-hit ball from Bryce Herb to lead off. And then a walk from Mac Lewis to bring up the heart of the order. Now one of the Cropdusters' best hitters is going up to bat and could potentially tie this game with a runner in scoring position.
That'll bring up Carter Hines DHing tonight. It's been so consistent all season long and has runners at first and second with no outs.
He went 2 for 3 the last time he played the big train.
Hines squares to bunt, can't get it down. Falls behind in the count 0-1.
Now, if Carter Hines does bunt, I like the chance of it not being a sack bunt, but one that he can actually beat out and run to first on time for a hit. Carter Hines has plenty of speed.
Hines will watch a strike go by, falls behind in the count 0-2. That takes out the possibility for a bunt.
Indeed it does. And that last big train game started a streak of 5 straight starts for Carter Hines where he had multiple hits, extended to 2 days ago with a 2 for 6 game against the Thunderbolts.
Checks at first. Hines checked his swing, did not go.
Yeah, not even close. I don't even know why an appeal was made by the catcher. The bat never left his shoulder, Jack.
So Kenty deals the 1-2. Curveball up and away for a ball. Evens the count up at 2-2, as you like to say, Jish.
A ballerina count. I love it. You know, you get to play. You get to do play-by-play for one game, and you're already stealing all my hijinks.
2-2 pitch. Hines grounds it weakly to second. Crosland goes to short. He'll get the out at second. So 1 out in the inning. Herb moves to third, and Cropdusters will have runners at the corners with 1 out for Ahia Koje.
Ahia Koje up to bat now for the Cropdusters. Went 2 for 5 last time he played the big train, and he's got a chance to tie it up here with a sacrifice fly if he wants it. He's had plenty of well-hit balls that have just been robbed in the outfield. Another one would bring in a run.
First pitch to a Koje. In there for a strike. Right on that high and outside corner.
Right down Broadway. That's a good take from a Koje nonetheless to get the timing down to this D1 pitcher. Kenty from Alabama, one of the premier college baseball programs.
Kenty deals. That pitch is fouled back. Koje down 0-2.
Keep an eye out for Hines at first to potentially snag a bag. He had 2 steals versus the Thunderbolts 2 days ago.
This is a spot where we could see Hines run. The 0-2 is fouled back. Koje stays alive. Runners at the corners, 1 out for the Dusters. Big train leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
Sack fly being on the table for a Koje is huge. We remember went 0 for 5 against the Thunderbolts last game, but had one that really well hit ball to left field that was snatched up by the left fielder. Another one would bring in that runner.
Runner goes. Catcher DeLisi does not make a throw down, so a stolen base for Hines, and that sets up a Koje with runners at second and third and 1 out.
So now if a Koje can get a hit, he can give the Cropdusters a lead if one is hit to the outfield. And it takes the double play off the table, Jack.
Big stolen base for Hines. The 1-2. Spiked in the dirt. Herb's going to go home, and he's going to score easily to tie this game up at 1. Passed ball for DeLisi. A lot of traffic on the bases for both teams. Now 1 out, runner on third base for the Dusters. Okoje fighting back in the count at 2-2.
Jack, if we're seeing these teams get on the board this early, look out. Last game was a 13-10 showdown, but the runs started coming in the second inning. They're scoring early and maybe often.
Okoje waves and misses. Strikeout for Jansen Kenty to get the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Ryan Boma playing third today. 2 outs, runner on third. Game tied up at 1.
Poor Ryan Boma. Last time he played 2 days ago against the Thunderbolts, got hit by 2 pitches, walked, had a strikeout and a hit. Got on base in creative ways, we'll say, but I talked to him after the game. He says he's fine, but a little hurt that both of those hit by pitches came from his Frostburg teammates.
1-0 count to Boma. Carter Hines dancing off of third base. Will be looking to go on a pass ball. Boma fouls that one out of play. Evens count up at 1 apiece. 2 outs in the inning.
Boma's one of those guys who could put a ball in play. That's what he'll have to do to score another run. 9 for 29 in the season. That's a .310 average.
The 1-1. Outside, Boma gets ahead in the count, 2-1.
Boma's had a tendency to chase some of those outside pitches this season. Doesn't bite on the 1-1 outside.
That pitch is in the dirt again. A good stop by DeLisi. So a hitter's count for Boma, 3-1. Base is open at first.
You see Boma checking his swing. He wants blood on this next pitch if he's given the opportunity.
3-1 pitch to Boma. Up for a ball. So Boma walks. That'll put runners on the corners for Patrick Sanchez.
Pat Sanchez, his second start of the season, got one of the Cropdusters' 4 hits the last time he played in that 7-0 loss to the Aces this past Sunday. Well, already warrant a meeting at the mound, though, between DeLisi and his starter, Kenty.
Patrick Sanchez still getting into the flow of summer ball. Has not had a lot of at-bats since coming here.
Just 3, but made the most of them. He was 1 for 3 on the summer, and last time he had a kind of a slow start. Hit a home run in his first hit, but now he's looking for a second hit as a Cropduster.
Runners on the corners for Sanchez. 2 outs. First pitch inside for a ball. 1-0.
Sanchez made that miraculous, well, I wouldn't say miraculous, but a really great play on defense at the top of this frame to rob Josh Skoronsky of a hit over the middle.
That pitch called strike on the outside corner. Count is 1-1.
Seems like Kenty's filling up the zone a lot better, or getting some near misses after talking to his catcher, DeLisi.
The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and popped up to shallow right field. Diaz there, he's going to make the play for the 3rd out of the inning, but the Cropdusters get the run back to tie things up at 1 apiece. We will see you guys in the top of the 2nd inning. Top of the 2nd here at Servpro Stadium. Game all tied up between the Big Train and the Cropdusters. 1-1. Snowberger out there for his second inning of work. Worked in and out of some trouble, got out of it relatively unscathed last inning, only giving up the 1.
It's definitely a sigh of relief. We've seen Snowberger earlier this year get into those jams, then give up huge hits. Good for Snowberger to give up weak contact. Instead, only 1 came across, and Cropdusters gave him some bat support and knotted it up at the bottom of the first.
Carter Newman will start things off for the big train in the top of the second. First pitch to him, called strike on the outside corner.
Carter Newman's a guy who struck out 3 times the last time he played the Cropdusters. We'll see what he does in his first at-bat versus Jonah Snowberger.
Snowberger delivers. That pitch is high and outside for a ball. Count even at 1-1. It's a breaking ball that didn't break, Jish.
Made of invincible, maybe plexiglass on the breaking ball.
Another fastball on the outside corner for a call strike, so Newman quickly down 1-2.
Newman's their second best hitter, hitting .294 on the year. That is the second most on this big train team, which actually ranks 3rd to last in average as a team.
That curveball is away for a ball. Count back to 2-2. Snowberger looking for a second strikeout of the game.
For reference, the Cropdusters batting second best in the league. 6 home runs. That also leads the league. Subtle flex.
That pitch. He went around. Strikeout for Carter Newman. Jonah Snowberger with the breaking ball there gets the called strike.
A great placed ball from Snowberger to force a will he won't he swing from the Virginia Tech third baseman Newman, and that'll send him packing. Snowberger's first strikeout of the day's got to feel good.
First pitch to DeLisi. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 84 for Snowberger, finding his velo a little bit.
And he's finding the location very effectively, too. The south part of the zone is working well.
DeLisi watches another pitch go by, the off-speed. Quickly down in the count, 0-2. 1 out, no one on for the big train.
It seems that Snowberger's thrown nothing but strikes in the second inning thus far.
Definitely looks locked in. The 0-2. Curveball just misses. 1-2.
You heard a Cropduster fan say, yes. Obviously not. That did not even remotely touch the zone.
So sometimes you pull for your team a little bit too much, Jish.
It can really blind you. You put on those fan glasses.
The 1-2 to DeLisi is chopped up the middle. Snowberger with a leaping grab, and he'll go over and toss it to first for the second out of the inning. Athletic play for the tall lefty.
Odell Beckham, who he went back with one hand, snatched it out of the sky. Snowberger's one of the taller pitchers, standing at around 6'5" for these Cropdusters, and that's the advantage of standing 6'5" on a chopper up the middle.
And that'll bring up the top of the lineup, Jaden Bastian, with no one on and 2 outs.
Walked his previous at bat, scored the first run for the big train as well.
Bastian swinging, fouls it back. Snowberger gets ahead, 0-1. Something that he's done a much better job of in the second, getting ahead of hitters.
All 3 batters thus far have gone down on a strike first. Snowberger finding the zone and pounding it.
The 0-1. High missed for a ball, evens count up at 1-1. Another breaking ball there from Snowberger.
He likes the changeup. He likes the curveball. A 3-pitch arsenal that's worked very well for him.
Bastian watches a curveball on the outside corner. Quickly down in the count, 1-2.
That's just one you can't swing at. How do you even time that up? It looks like it's missing all the way, barely juts back into the zone. Great movement from Snowberger.
That's a perfectly placed pitch for Snowberger. That pitch is fouled back from Bastian, so 1-2, 2 outs, nobody on for Jonah Snowberger. Looking to go quickly, 1-2-3 here in the top of the second. Score still knotted up at 1-1. Snowberger's 1-2 is swung and fouled back into the mitt of Connor Spellman to get the 3rd out of the inning. 2 strikeouts, a ground out for Jonah Snowberger. A strong second inning.
A very strong second inning for Jonah Snowberger. Night and day after leaving a Village on base. Bases loaded to end the first. None on, no hits to end the second.
We will head to the bottom of the second inning for the Cropdusters. Score still tied up at 1-1. See you then. It is time for the bottom of the second inning. Jack Feldman on the call with Jish Sokolsky. 1-1 ball game. As Cropdusters are looking to take the lead in the bottom of the second. They're going to have the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Parker Fry, Connor Spellman, and Ben Davis, try to get them on the board.
It's interesting to start off with Parker Fry hitting in 7th tonight. He's one of the more powerful hitters and has gotten on base a lot more than you would expect from a 7-0 hitter typically. But to have him really this low in the line to lead off, I love it. It's kind of a shadow strategy from Adam Leader.
First pitch to Fry. Misses up, ball, 1-0. Tough at bat for Parker Fry with the lefty on lefty. Kenty throwing hard. Fry ahead in the count, 2-0. 2 missed spots for Kenty. So he struggled a little bit with command in the previous inning.
Kenty also loaded those bases just like Snowberger, his Cropdusters counterpart, did.
That's a called strike on the outside corner for Kenty. Gets one back there. 2-1 count. Fry still in command of the at-bat. The 2-1. Yanked down for a ball. 3-1 count. As a fastball that just missed the spot.
Fry is one of those guys. He's hitting .222 on the year. Not the greatest, but 2 of his 6 hits have been doubles. This is a guy who can hit for power when he gets a bat on ball.
Another ball misses low, and that is a leadoff walk for the big right fielder, Parker Fry. Set things up for Connor Spellman, who has been the on-base king.
I would say as such, yeah, he's a very, very good at getting on base. He's walked 8 times. That leads the Cropdusters this summer. But definitely known more for his defensive prowess behind the plate. He does the little things right, Jack.
Looks like pitching coach for Big Train is going to have a talk with Kenty, try to settle him down a little bit. No action in the Big Train bullpen just quite yet.
Yeah, there's somebody standing up. I don't know if that's just because they're watching or whatnot, but
no one throwing or
getting loose, though, you'd have to imagine.
So, big spot for the catcher. Right around first, no outs.
You know, it's funny, Jack. Connor Spellman, the Jacksonville catcher, standing right behind him for the Big Train catching another Jacksonville catcher in Nick DeLisi. These two guys split time behind the dish for the Dolphins this past season. Neither one really did a ton offensively, but Connor Spellman actually outworked his senior counterpart behind the dish with more caught stealing in his limited starts.
Spellman takes that one outside for a ball to be a fly on the wall for that conversation in the batter's box right now. 2 teammates that know each other quite well. Fry on first. The 1-0. Taken inside for a ball, so 2-0 count on Spellman. Fry not really a threat to run.
Not necessarily the biggest threat to run. He does have a stolen base on the season, so you definitely have to keep an eye out, but as the pitcher
Kenty
does.
will deliver. Check in on Fry at first. Fry saunters back.
You know, Fry's one of those taller, lankier guys. Has potential to put some more speed on when he runs, but doesn't run with the most speed, all things considered.
Hitters count for Spellman. Kenty delivers. Another ball on the outside corner just misses for Kenty. And a 3-0 count, and all of a sudden, Big Train in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Connor Spellman just 1 ball away from his 9th walk of the year. It'll put 2 runners on for the Crops.
Spellman takes another one low, so first and second, nobody out for the number 9 hitter, Ben Davis, who we have been looking forward to him to get it going all season long.
Still just 1 hit on the season. with some just barelys, a lot of misses. I like to say that a lot. Actually, 2 hits on the season, and both of them came against the big train the last time these two teams played, so perhaps he's saving his special stuff for the more established team down the road.
Goes to bunt, takes it back. And Davis just trying to get anything going. Shave the mustache, really just trying to get the juju on his side. So we have runners on first and second. Nobody out in the 1-1 ball game. Bottom to second. Davis goes to bunt again, pulls back 2-0, and Kenty's having a lot of trouble throwing strikes.
He definitely is, but it's a really interesting strategy for Ben Davis to try bunting. He doesn't have a ton of speed on the base paths with Parker Fry and Connor Spellman at second and first, and he's not the fastest runner either. Interesting to see if the big train can capitalize.
Squaring again, pops it into the air down the third baseline, gonna go foul. Boy, Emilio Gonzalez was playing all the way in at first. Looked like Anthony Rizzo there, playing even with the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, you see from first base, Gonzalez run all the way across the diamond to try and rob him of a foul ball. Instead, it'll just remain 2-1.
Davis, we'll see if he bunts here. He does. Pulls back 3-1. That's another ball from Kenty. And it makes sense, Jish. He has not been hitting well at the plate. You got runners in first and second, nobody out. It makes sense to try and move the runners over with no outs. We'll see if Coach Leader and Davis stick with that strategy. The 3-1, Davis turns to bunt. That pitch past DeLisi, and the runners will advance, but it doesn't matter because that's a walk. And that pitch wasn't even close.
Not even close. Very fortunate that it was a walk and the runners didn't feel the need to advance. They weren't sprinting around the base paths, because if they had a little bit more speed, you imagine Parker Fry, now standing at third base, is coming home. You imagine that Connor Spellman at second's running for third. Instead, it just loads the bases with the top of the order up and no outs. This is huge for the Cropdusters.
Bases loaded for Bryce Herb. Nobody out. Nowhere to put him. Herb takes a called strike for the first pitch. 89. Right at the bottom of the zone. Looks like Kenty is working quickly now. The 0-1 in there for strike 2. Two painted pitches.
Absolutely. After struggling to find the zone against these last two batters, he's really tucking it away against the righty Herb.
The 0-2, Kenty deals. Herb takes that one low for ball 1.
Similar spot from Kenty, but Herb is given the benefit of the doubt in the righty batter's box.
Kenty looking for a strikeout or a ground ball. And that pitch hits Bryce Herb on the hand, so that will bring in Parker Fry to make it a 2-1 ball game.
So now,
in the bottom of the second.
So Bryce Herb has a hit, and he reaches on a hit by pitch. We apologize. The stream did go out his last at-bat, but he started off the day with a hit. But now, the Cropdusters have their first lead of the day, and it could get even uglier for Kenty on the mound.
Bases loaded, no outs for the number 2 hitter, Mac Lewis. Corner infielders in for the big train. Middle infield is playing back, looking for the double play. Lewis takes one outside for a ball.
Lewis starting off where he left off. He walked his last at-bat. Another one of those would bring in a runner.
The 1-0 pitch to Lewis is swung on and past a diving Gonzalez into the corner. 1 run will score. More are coming to score. And that's a 2-run RBI single for Mac Lewis. And the Cropdusters are leading 4-1.
Designated hitter number 4.
Very unfortunate play for Gonzalez at the first base bag to avoid it. Does a lot of damage, but it also brings up Mac Lewis's first RBIs as a Cropduster.
And Coach Colangelo is going to have a talk with his pitcher. We'll see if that's it for Kenty. Looks like it is. So not a good day for Kenty. Doesn't get out of the second inning, gives up 4 runs as Colangelo makes a change.
Yeah, Kenty did not have the day he wanted. He only went 1 inning before the game, and after the first inning where he was relatively all right, loaded the bases, but got out of it without much harm. Now gives up 3 runs this inning, and a change is in order for the big train.
See who this new pitcher is. Looks like it's going to be number 44, Kevin Scully.
Kevin Scully is another pitcher who went against the Cropdusters last game. Only went for 2/3 of an inning and allowed 4 earned runs, Jack. This is somebody the Cropdusters have faced not just this year, but the year before as well, and they had a similar fate against him. In .7 innings, they scored 3 off of him to take a win. Cropdusters looked their best when Scully was on the mound, and he's back out there facing these Cropdusters batters.
Cropdusters need to keep pouring on the runs because I'll tell you one thing, Jish, this game is not going to be a 4-1 ball game. Whenever these two teams play, it's back and forth the entire time.
There's been some game you see one of 2 scenarios when the Cropdusters play the Big Trina. Either nobody scores for the first 7 innings and then all of them come in the last 2, or everybody's throwing haymakers from start to finish, and no matter what, it's always going to come down to a thrilling conclusion.
Cropdusters ahead 4-1 after the big 2-run RBI single for Mac Lewis, who is going to be on first base when Scully comes back, and Bryce Herb standing over there on third base. Runners at the corners for the Dusters.
It's not the best scenario to come into if you're Kevin Scully. No outs and a chance for a sac fly with the heart of the order up. We'll see what he does with his feet to the fire.
Scully's first batter of the game will be the dangerous Carter Hines. One of the best contact hitters in all of the Ripken League. I feel like that's fair to say at this point.
When you have multiple hits and you
tips off the glove of DeLisi.
Hang on, there's word. This one's not my fault. Okay, there we go.
Runners at the corners. 4-1 ball game. Dusters ahead. Still no outs in the bottom of the second. That pitch gets by DeLisi. Herb is going to come in to score to make it a 5-1 ball game as Lewis advances to second. Couple of wild pitches so far for these Big Train pitchers.
It's really come early in these pitchers' appearances on the mound. It brings Mac Lewis to second as well, so takes the double play off the table. But it takes a while for pitchers in the Ripken League to really find their command, and it brings in the 5th run for the Cropdusters. They'll take that any day of the week, Jack.
1-2 count to Hines, runner on second, no outs. Scully deals. Low, ball 2 evens the count up at 2 apiece.
This is one thing Carter Hines is going to do. He's built like a G.I. Joe action figure. He's going to fight in the box.
Just so consistent, doesn't strike out easily. No outs, 2-2 count. Pitch is weakly grounded to second. Crosland fields it, puts it away for the first out of the inning. So Lewis will advance to third.
And that's where the wild pitch really stings you if you're the Big Train. That could have been a double play that could have made this inning a whole lot easier. But thanks to that wild pitch, not only are the Cropdusters a run richer, but they got a runner at third base with the sac fly still on the table for Ahi Okoje.
Okoje, the left fielder, up with 1 out and a runner on third. Big Train's going to bring the infield in. And that pitch is driven into center. Williamson makes the catch. Lewis is going to fake the tag. Looked like he thought about it, then thought better.
You got to credit the throw from Williamson in center field. Really robbed the Cropdusters of a run there. A fast hit ball from Ahi Okoje, and that kind of played to the detriment of the tagger at third.
2 outs for Ryan Boma playing third base. 6-1 ball game, Cropdusters leading. Scully trying to work out of trouble.
2 outs are easier than 1 if you're the Big Train.
Pitch is in there for a strike.
That's your math hit of the day. That's all I got.
Analytics.
2 is greater than 1. It's closer to 3, which is what the Big Train needs. That's all I got.
Boma has been a really good 2-out hitter with runners in scoring position so far this season. Take a ball low. Looked like a breaking ball there from Scully.
Boma's been seeing the zone well. First against Kenty, now against this reliever Scully. Walked his previous at-bat, and he evens things up with that pitch.
1-1 count to Boma. Mac Lewis standing off at third base. 2 outs in the inning. Scully delivers. Called strike on the inside corner, right on the black.
To some grimaces from Cropdusters fans. A loud ooh from the crowd. That was right in no man's land, but great placement from Scully to get the called strike.
Scully one pitch away from leaving Lewis stranded at third. And he gets it done. Boma waves at it for a big strikeout from Kevin Scully. And we will head to the top of the third. Cropdusters ahead 6-1. Jish, that was a big performance from Scully.
It was a much better performance. Only one run came across when he was on the mound. Not going to be scored to him, though. But sometimes if you're the Cropdusters, it's better to be lucky than good. A few errors, some spiked balls, passed balls, wild pitches, brought in some runs this inning. We'll see if the bats can really supplement what the Cropdusters have given them this inning.
Well, when we come back, it will be the top of the third as Big Train is looking to get back on the board after getting blanked in the second. We head to the top of the third. Cropdusters leading Big Train 5-1. This Big Train's looking to get back some runs after a big bottom of the second by the Dusters.
You know, the Cropdusters led in the last game, ended up losing. They were up 7-4 in the seventh inning, so there's no lead that's safe. I'm sure the Crops have a killer's mentality right now. They're not going to let up. They're going to keep trying to score runs, throw strikes. Not going to let up because we saw what happened last time.
The two-hole hitter Andrew Williamson steps to the plate for Big Train. Snowberger back out there for his third inning of work.
That looks to be a different batter, Jack. Number 29 standing in the lefty batter's box. Perhaps a pinch hitter early.
That would be a big move for Sal Colangelo. Looks to be...
Is that a pitcher?
Could be a pitcher.
There's nobody on my sheet right here, but it's definitely number 29.
He squares to bunt. Strike for Snowberger. We'll get ahead in the count, 0-1. Still working on finding out who is at the plate right now. Another called strike for Snowberger.
That is Andrew Williamson. I believe he changed his number, not in the middle of the game, but I have him listed at number 6, and as a righty as well, so he's standing in the lefty batter's box.
Williamson pops it up, infield pop-up. Spellman tries to make the play against the fence, and it's going to run into the netting. So Spellman just ran out of room.
Unfortunate. It's like, what's that fan's name who robbed that one hit of the World Series? Forget his name. The Chicago Cubs fan, or maybe it was
Steve
the playoffs.
Bartman?
Steve Bartman. Steve Netman, I would say. Just the warning net up there robbed Connor Spellman of recording the first out.
2 strikes for Williamson. Hits it deep into right field. Wynn takes it back in foul territory. Nice catch by Fry. A little bit of a basket catch for the big right fielder. Get the first out of the inning.
Parker Fry doing a great job of running up, seeing the ball well. It could have easily gotten lost in the sun, but Fry on his horse reaches foul territory and puts the batter to bed.
1 out in the top of the third. Bring up Jordan Croslin. First pitch of the at-bat to Croslin, outside for a ball.
Croslin, of course, hit the huge home run last time he played the Cropdusters. since then has had a pretty up and down season, hitting .240 with none today. Got hit his last at bat.
Crosland hammers that one into the right center gap. It's going to get down there. Crosland is going to stop it first for a single. Good job by Parker Fry to get it in quickly. And a one-out single for Jordan Crosland.
Two well-hit balls from the big train, and the common denominator for the Cropdusters has been Parker Fry stopping both of them in their tracks and limiting the damage. First one resulted in that. The second one just keeps the runner glued for a single.
Davin Whitaker will step up to the plate. Crosland a threat to go at first with one out. Snowberger delivers. Pitch will hit Whitaker in the head to set Big Train up with one out and runners at first and second.
That pitch said, McFly, anybody home? Got him right in the noggin.
Right fielder, number 27 out of Tulane, Christopher Diaz.
Christopher Diaz, the right fielder, up to the plate for Bethesda Big Train. Another lefty. A lot of lefties in this Big Train lineup.
He was responsible for bringing in the first run. Bases were loaded, and he walked. Snowberger having some difficulties in this third frame.
Diaz takes the ball outside, heading to count 1-0. Snowberger trying to keep his gem of an outing going. He's been in a little bit of trouble in the first inning, but really solid to start this game. The 1-0 to Diaz. In the dirt, ball 2. Nice block by Spellman.
Last inning, Snowberger went 1-2-3.
We see Sanchez shading up the middle again with the lefty. Looks like that's where he's going to be playing when there's a lefty in double play depth. Diaz pops that one up to Spellman. That's going to leave the ballpark, so foul ball for Diaz. 5 for 17 with a homer and 3 ribbies to start the season.
He is there. Now hitting .294 in the year. That's tied for second best on the team. Their leading hitter, Josh Skoronski, hits .333.
Diaz takes that one outside again for a ball. So 3-1 count, 1 out. Runners on first and second as Snowberger tries to pitch in and out of trouble. Ground ball away from getting out of the inning. Cropdusters ahead 5-1. Diaz swings and sends a fly ball to center field. Herb under it, tagging his Crosland. Great throw, and he nails him at third base. What a throw by Bryce Herb. Gets the double play, gets out of the inning, and Snowberger loves that.
Man, oh man, you know, we were worried about Bryce Herb maybe to start in center field. He's got a cannon of an arm to rob that base runner of tagging. Bryce Herb showing he is just as capable as the other center fielders defensively. Brian Scott and Griffin Puvel making these highlight plays to turn 2.
We'll see if Snowberger comes back out for a 4th inning of work, but 3 innings, 1 run. Tremendous performance so far for the lefty, as the Cropdusters are ahead 5-1, and we will head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Patrick Sanchez starting things off for the Cropdusters. Kevin Scully still on the bump for Bethesda Big Train. We've seen Patrick Sanchez be an absolute defensive wizard at shortstop. looking to translate that to the offensive side of things.
I love that. He's been casting spells in the middle infield for 2 seasons now. We saw him with a clean out in the first inning. We'll see what he can do with the bat this time around. He's 1 for 4 in the year after grounding out his last at-bat.
0-1 count for the leadoff hitter of the inning, Sanchez, trying to use his wizardy to get on base. The 0-1 taken for a called strike, 1-1. Scully really comes over the top. A lot of tilt on his fastball.
Scully's looked a lot better this outing than he did last time he played the Crops.
Sanchez takes a called strike slider, nipping that outside corner. Make the count 1-2.
Scully's gone just 1 inning after coming in relief the previous inning and threw a strikeout with no runs to his name.
The 1-2 to Sanchez is fouled off. Good job to stay alive by the shortstop.
Got a little jammed there. He's just stretching the arms before he steps back into that batter's box.
Scully's got a wipeout slider. That is a really nasty pitch. And he gets Sanchez chasing there for the first out of the inning. A strikeout.
Sanchez's swing was well far behind, and he guessed on the location
That
of it,
pitch
too.
is way up. Absolutely. And that'll bring up Parker Fry. Big lefty with 1 out, nobody on. Cropdusters ahead 5-1.
He had a big inning defensively in the bottom or at the top of this frame with a fly out and catching a single to keep it a single.
Scully working fast. Pitch misses, 1-1 on Fry.
Fry walked his last at-bat, came all the way around to score off of a walk.
The 1-1 pitch to Fry. In there for a strike, 1-2.
It was right down the middle with the off-speed.
Scully works quickly, attacks the zone. That pitch is in there, so back-to-back strikeouts for Kevin Scully here in the bottom of the third. He's looked tremendous.
Great mix between the changeup and the fastball from Scully. Parker Fry never got his timing down in the first go-around against this righty. And Scully's taken advantage of his inexperience against him.
2 outs, nobody up. Connor Spellman. That pitch is in there for a called strike. Kevin Scully looking to go 1-2-3 in the bottom of this third inning. Dusters ahead 5-1. Spellman takes another breaking ball in there for a strike.
How about 2 strikeouts as well for Scully? He's wheeling and dealing.
Kevin Scully, 2 outs, 0-2 count, nobody on. Deals and gets him, gets Spellman swinging. And Kevin Scully strikes out the side in the bottom of the third. After 3 innings of play, Cropdusters ahead of Big Train 5-1. We'll see you guys in the top of the 4th. After 3 innings of action, the score is 5-1. Cropdusters ahead, and a new pitcher for the Dusters will be the big righty Steve Schenning, taking over from Jonah Snowberger, who had a phenomenal performance, going 3 innings, 1 run against Bethesda Big Train. It's going to give you a chance to win every time.
Absolutely. The bats went quiet at the bottom of the inning. That could really fire up this Big Train. You know, seeing their pitcher go out, wheel and deal, and shut down the offense of the Cropdusters. But now the Big Train run into a similar problem that the Cropdusters bats had. A new pitcher, new stuff, new things to get used to. But Steve Schenning has pitched against the Big Train before. A performance he'd really love to have back. Only went 2/3 of an inning. with 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Or excuse me, no earned runs, but 3 runs came across on his accord. 2 hits and a walk to his name in that outing on June 3rd.
Steve Schenning, a lot of experience in the Ripken League. This is not his first rodeo as he's looking to keep the lead.
You can tell by the way he rocks those overalls that it's not his first rodeo.
He does look good in them.
Yeah, you know, I noticed these returners, every time the returners come back, you know, Pat Sanchez, Jimmy Kirk, Steve Schenning, they look better and better every time they rock the overalls. There's a reason they keep coming back. It's a new fashion craze that's taken over the nation, Jack.
The big DH, Josh Skoronsky, will step up to the plate for Schenning's first batter. Schenning delivers. That pitch is driven into the right field corner, foul. So a long strike for Schenning.
Whew. A few inches away from a homer, too. Skoronsky put a lot of meat on that ball.
Skoronsky has been one of the most dangerous hitters for Big Train to start the season, hitting .333 with 1 bomb. Schenning ahead in the count, 0-1.
He was close to his second one there.
Skoronsky swinging again, misses that one.
Shortened up on that swing, though. His hands were closer to the barrel. Didn't get a piece of the ball, though.
Schenning ahead, 0-2. Here's the pitch. Another swing and a miss. Skoronsky. Spellman will throw him out at first on the drop third strike for the first out of the inning.
It's much better for Steve Schenning's confidence. You know, it's easy to get down on yourself after allowing 3 runs in his last at-bat, in his last appearance, against the Big Train, but starts off with a strikeout. That does wonders for a pitcher's confidence.
That'll bring up Emilio Gonzalez, and he's facing some dangerous hitters, too.
Skoronsky lined out his last at-bat, struck out this time.
Gonzalez takes that one for a ball outside.
Speaking of strikeouts, Gonzalez was one of those ones who did strike out to Jonah Snowberger earlier this game.
The 1-0 pitch to Gonzalez, waved and missed. Oh, and looks like 1-1. So Schenning looking like he's pumping strikes early on. In the top of the 4th, Cropdusters head 5-1. Gonzalez takes that pitch low for a ball, 2-1.
I like the idea from Schenning, though. See these batters' tendencies. Does he swing at low pitches that are fast? Does he like to chase outside? I love it.
Gonzalez hits that one into left field. Okoje coming in on it, can't make the play. Gonzalez is going to stop it first. Okoje had a diving attempt at it, couldn't quite come up with the ball.
It was really just a well-hit contact swing from Emilio Gonzalez. Dropped it over the head of the shortstop and Okoje, who made a valiant effort for it, but fortunately that it's just one base because Sanchez was right there to pick up the loose change and hold the runner.
The shortstop Carter Newman steps up with 1 out and a runner on first. Here in the top of the 4th, Cropdusters head 5-1. Pitch is in there for a called strike. Schenning gets ahead of Newman.
Newman went down swinging his last at-bat as well. A strikeout. Jonah Snowberger second. Let's see what Schenning can do against the righty.
Schenning delivers. Swing and a miss. Big cut from Carter Newman. He's down in the count, 0-2.
Right idea from Newman, though, to try for it. It was right there in the zone, placed in the bottom corner brilliantly by Schenning.
The 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. Swing and a miss for Schenning. As Carter Newman is down on strikes, and that'll bring up the catcher Nick DeLisi with 2 outs, runner on first.
You know, back to Carter Newman, a guy who struck out 3 times the first time he played the Cropdusters, now up to 2 strikeouts against them already. The Cropdusters just have what it takes to put this guy to bed.
DeLisi takes that one in there for a called strike. Schenning ahead 0-1. Gonzalez dancing off of first base.
This is DeLisi's first start of the season for the Big Train. 0-for-1 in the day.
That ball is outside. Evens the count up at 1-1. Schenning's looked really solid in his first inning of work.
Already with 2 strikeouts on 3 batters faced. That's economical.
You know, I love that word, Jish. The 1-1. off of the helmet of DeLisi. Another hit batter for the Cropdusters, and that'll set up the big train with runners on first and second and 2 outs. A big 2-out runner in scoring position situation for the leadoff hitter, Jaden Bastian.
Bastian struck out his last at-bat, but walked his first one. We've seen it all from the leadoff man. Also stole a base the first time he was on the base paths.
2 outs, runners on first and second for the left fielder. Schenning gives a look over at the runner at second. That pitch is hit into center field. Bryce Herb under it, and he's going to put it away for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 strikeouts, a fly out for Steve Schenning in his first inning of work. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Cropdusters leading the big train 5-1. Bottom of the 4th here at Serve Pro Stadium. Cropdusters ahead of Big Train 5-1 in what has been a strong offensive start for the Dusters, Jish.
It's been strong offensively, but you also have to look at the reality of the situation that the defense for the Big Train just came out napping. The first pitcher, Jansen Kenty, really did a lot of favors for this Cropduster lineup. A few errors, some wild pitches, passed balls, brought in 4 in that second inning. But the Cropdusters have a chance to really get their footing back after going down 1-2-3 in the last inning.
Scully still on the mound. He's going to face the 9-1-2 hitters for the Cropdusters. Ben Davis leading it off. Just looking for anything to get himself going. An extra base hit, just a hard hit ball to really kickstart his season.
A walk was a great start the last time, Jack.
First pitch of the inning to Davis. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. Davis quickly behind 0-1.
Davis did a much better job, at least in the early parts, seeing the pitches from the lefty versus this righty.
The 0-1 swung on high in the air, out of play. Davis now behind in the count, 0-2, as a nice play by a fan in the crowd.
Oh, yeah, right there in that 3rd row at the railing. He's standing up. He's showing the crowd what he's got. That's the loudest pop we've really heard today from these Cropdusters fans.
Get this guy a uniform. The 0-2 pitch to Ben Davis as Tevin Scully stands tall on the mound. In there, Davis hammers it to center field. Coming on is Williamson, and he lays out and makes an outstanding grab for the 1st out of the inning.
Andrew Williamson has been making great plays in the early goings. He's been putting the defense on his back. First, the hose to keep a runner at 3rd a few innings ago, and now that spectacular catch laying out to rob Ben Davis of his 3rd hit of the season.
When you're going through a slump and smoke a ball like that, that is demoralizing to see. As Bryce Herb steps to the plate, takes the first pitch low for a ball.
Bryce Herb's been on one today, a hit and a hit by pitch to get on base, brought in the 2nd run of the day for the Cropdusters.
Herb, one of these Dusters with just a strong start to the season. Swing and a miss there. Nice breaking ball from Scully. That's that wipeout slider I was talking about.
Interesting to
really
see.
Nasty pitch.
It's interesting to see how Scully picks up the pieces after allowing really his first piece of great contact off the bat of Davis.
Herb swings and foul tipped back to the catcher, DeLisi. 1-2, 1 out, nobody on. Cropdusters ahead 5-1, and Kevin Scully works really fast. He is just get the ball, go right back out to that bump.
He's playing like he's got a pitch clock on him. immediately, lightning quick between his pitches. Herb lucky to foul that one off to give himself just a little bit more room before he steps back into that box.
Herb going to take a second outside of the box, take a deep breath, recollect himself. Hitting .333 on the season. The 1-2 to Herb. Fouled back out of play. Stays alive at 1-2 with 1 out in the inning.
Herb doing a good job just staying alive at the plate. The pitches are coming hard and fast from Scully. Looks like a brand new pitcher from his first outing.
The 1-2 pitch to Herb. High for a ball. Evens the count up at 2-2. Jish.
A ballerina count.
A ballerina count. Thank you very much.
We're in the 2-2.
Scully delivers. Herb swings and sends it into left field, center field. Williamson under it at the warning track. Makes the play. That was one of those balls where carried more than you expected, but you kind of knew that one was going to stay in the ballpark.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the first big, powerful swing we've seen from Herb this season, but it just didn't look like it had enough juice, and credit Ryan Williamson in center field again, working to his left this time, or his right this time, to make the robbery of a well-hit ball from Herb.
2 outs, nobody on for Lewis. Takes a called strike for the first pitch of his at-bat. He's had a pretty strong start to the season. Still very limited sample size, but all his at-bats look super competitive. As Scully working really quickly and is ahead 0-2 of Lewis.
It's a strike away from the inning, but Lewis has had a very strong start to the day, Jack. 1 for 1 in the day with a walk and a ribby.
0-2, 2 outs for Scully looking to get through another scoreless inning. Pitch hits off the front knee of Mac Lewis. He'll take first base. And that'll bring up the DH Carter Hines.
Mac Lewis is one of the guys we really haven't seen a ton this season. He was dealing with some injuries to start the season. So to see him take one in the knee, hopefully he's all right standing at first base.
Lewis always a threat to go whenever you get a middle infielder like that with some speed on the bases. 2 outs. Runner on first. Dusters ahead 5-1 of the big train in the bottom of the 4th. Carter Hines up.
Hines 0 for 2 on the day.
He'll take that one up for a ball. That is something you rarely see.
You know, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, Jack. And Carter Hines has had some very competitive at-bats coming back from down 0-2. He finds himself ahead here. We'll see what he can do with an advantageous count.
The 1-0 pitch. Hines fouls it back. Evens count up at 1-1, and he has a multi-hit streak game going. That's at this point, it's at what, 5 games?
5 straight games with multiple hits.
Unbelievable start to the season for Carter Hines.
The early makings of an all-star. You don't want to speak too soon. And he's still hitless today, but we expect that from recent history to be a thing that changes.
Hines takes that one up for a ball, and he's ahead in the count, 2-1. 2 outs. Mac Lewis leading off of first base. Kevin Scully on the bump.
Scully's been going north a lot. It's a matter of his timing. He does a good job varying up the changeup and the fastball to get these batters swinging or looking when they shouldn't be.
Hines takes that one in there. Breaking ball to even the count up at 2-2. And you're right. When you get a pitcher like Scully that's coming straight over the top, he tends to miss north-south more than east-west, and that's what we're seeing. So, 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2s all over the place. Mac Lewis off of first. Carter Hines up at the dish. And he'll work the count full. 3-2, that'll send Mac Lewis off and running at first.
Another pitch that misses high. We'll see Mac Lewis's speed on full display with this coming pitch, but when he's working east-west, Jack, he's doing a great job bearing it in the outside portion of the zone against righties.
Full count, Lewis is going to go. Hines takes that one up again for a ball. So some great color commentary by you, Jish. Spot on.
My first try at this color commentary thing, I would say I'm not too bad. And you're doing great on this play-by-play, Jack.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to live up to the Jish Sokolsky name. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Runners on first and second for Ahia Koje.
If you want to live up to the Jish Sokolsky name, your last name has to be a little harder to pronounce than Feldman. Have to add a few more vowels in there. Sprinkle them in.
Rudder in scoring position for the left fielder. Kojay takes the first pitch up for a ball.
Again, missing North. He's trying his best, and when it comes down to the right spot, this could be trouble for Scully, too, because that's right in the wheelhouse for these power hitters in the Cropdusters.
The 1-0 pitch. Kojay takes it on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 count. As Kojay is working with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs, trying to extend the 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scully gives a look over to second, delivers, swing and a miss from Kojay, chasing the high heat.
Just a little bit early on it. Scully doesn't have them up there. Kojay timed it.
Second. Scully trying to get out of trouble. And Kojay golfs that ball into center field. Williamson camps under it, and he'll put it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Kevin Scully works in and out of trouble in the bottom of the 4th, and we will go to the top of the 5th, 5-1, Cropdusters lead. We will be back. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. We head to the top of the 5th. Bethesda Big Train trailing the Cropdusters 5-1. Steve Shenning back out there for a 2nd inning of work. Jack Feldman and Jish Sokolsky on the call. And it will be the middle of the order for Bethesda Big Train. Andrew Williamson, the number 2 hitter, will step up to the dish to face Steve Shenning.
A big bottom of the 4th inning for Williamson. Caught all 3 outs to put the Cropdusters bats to bed.
Williamson takes ball 1 outside. Shenning looked to be throwing a lot of strikes in his 1st inning of work, trying to continue that trend.
2 strikeouts already for Shenning with no runs coming across. He had runners in scoring position, but fortunate to get out of it.
Williamson fouls it back. Evens the count up at 1-1. You know, we have the ballerina count for 2-2. You have to think of something for 1-1.
I'd call that chopsticks. You know, you got the 2 1s on the board.
Yeah.
Like tally marks. Almost look like chopsticks.
Williamson fouls that one down the first base side. Behind in the count 1-2.
He's getting ahead of these pitches. Steve Shenning offering the off-speed low in the zone, and Williamson is turning on him too soon.
Shenning ahead in the count 1-2. I could go for some sushi right now, Jish. Always love that.
Me as well.
Williamson will take that one outside for a ball. Evens the count up at 2-2. It's Williamson leading off the inning. You have to deal with Crosland and Davin Whitaker, who are both very dangerous hitters, so you want to get Williamson out. That pitch just misses the outside corner. So a good job by Andrew Williamson to work the count full to lead off the inning for the Big Train. The full count pitch is swung on and hammered deep to right field. Stays in the ballpark for Parker Fry. Makes the catch. 1 out.
Looked like Parker Fry. We're going to see the Cotton Eye Joe, but it looked like he was doing the cha-cha slide out there. Backed up 2 steps and then ran up 3 to make the grab for the first out. Andrew Williamson still is yet to reach base for the Big Train this summer. Parker Fry has been doing great.
So that'll bring up Jordan Crosland, always dangerous hitter with 1 out. No one on. Schenning spikes the first pitch.
Crosland 1 for 1 on the day. Got hit by a pitch as well in the first inning.
The 1-0 pitch to Crosland. In there for a called strike. 1-1. Schenning really not having any trouble with command.
He went low and inside against the righty. He checked his swing, thought about it, but it was there anyway.
Crosland frozen on that pitch. Breaking ball right in the heart of the plate for 1-2.
Right down the middle, the change-up, or the off-speed, from Schenning got him confused.
It's a really nice take by Jordan Crosland. That's a breaking ball that Crosland is not seeing great in this at-bat. Takes that one low and away for a ball. 2-2 count. 1 out. And another full count. So back-to-back full counts for Schenning.
Big exclamation, a grunt from him after that pitch. He didn't like it after it left his hand.
5-1 ball game. Dusters ahead. Full count. And that is a big swing and a miss for Jordan Crosland. A strikeout for Steve Schenning to get 2 quick outs.
Schenning really hung that one up there. Gave Crosland some forbidden fruit to swing at. Just a little too overzealous to swing the bat. Instead, he sent packing on a swing.
That'll bring up Davin Whitaker, the third baseman. Crosland trying to do some damage with that one. Whitaker smokes that one up the middle for a 2-out single. So 1 runner on first as that ball looked like Whitaker almost tried to make a move for second, thought better of it. So 2 outs, runner on first. Schenning trying to work his second scoreless inning here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Christopher Diaz. He had the big 5 for 17 start to the season. And a beautifully placed backdoor breaking ball for Schenning to get ahead 0-1.
Diaz still looking for his first hit today, though. Walked in his first at-bat to bring in a runner with bases loaded, the only run for the big train today.
Schenning will check on the runner on first. Nothing doing.
You got to commend Ben Davis at first base as well, stepping off and making sure that his throwbacks do not go wild. Schenning's whipping it over to first.
That pitch grounded, foul to first. Diaz came very close to ending the inning, but just went foul.
That stays just a few more inches left, Jack. Davis scoops it up, gets the unassisted out for out number 3, but either way, Steve Schenning goes up a strike.
Runner on first, 2 outs, 0-2 count on Diaz. That pitch low. Runner goes. Spellman comes up throwing. That ball is going to sail into center field. The runner's going to stay put at second.
It was really the first defensive blunder we've really seen from Connor Spellman. Got away from his grasp. It looks like the big train batter thought it hit off his knee, so he took first. He's walking back.
Umpires are going to clarify things.
And to me, it almost looked like it went off his knee, which would mean the steal was really for naught. They're going to have a discussion right by first base, but from our angle back here, it definitely looked like it. I'll trust the umpire behind home plate who got an even closer view.
Umpires are going to say it does not hit off of Diaz. Diaz is going to stay in the batter's box, so Whitaker moves to second on the stolen base. That'll bring runner on second, 2 outs, 1-2 count on Christopher Diaz. Steve Schenning trying to work through his second inning of work. Schenning delivers. Low. Count even up at 2 apiece.
That's 2 straight pitches that Spellman has had a hard time hanging on to low in the zone. Schenning was saying that last time he played the big train, he got some signals mixed up. I don't think that's the case this time. I think he just has to elevate these off speeds a little more.
2 outs, runner on second. 2-2 pitch to Diaz. Grounded through the right side hole. That's going to bring Whitaker home. He's rounding home. The play at the plate. And he got him. Parker Fry, the second outfield assist of the day for the Cropdusters, and a big one to get Steve Schenning out of the jam. And the Cropdusters will head to the bottom of the 5th, 5-2. What a play by the big right fielder.
Cotton Eye Joe. We go to the bottom of 5. Cropdusters up 5-1.
New pitcher. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cropdusters leading the big train 5-1. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call for this one. New pitcher for Bethesda. That's going to be the Alabama righty Jansen Kenty. Quite a few Alabama pitchers on this big train team.
This is Baker's first appearance on the mound for the big train this season. He'll come in relief of his teammate, Jansen Kenty, with a sandwich of a JMU Duke in the middle. Kevin Scully had a really very strong few innings of pitching there, so he's not coming out due to performance, definitely due to fatigue. We'll see what this second Alabama pitcher does after the first one brought in the first 5 runs for the Cropdusters.
Jansen Kenty throws hard. He's going to get into that low 90s, and that's going to bring up Ryan Boma to start things off for the Cropdusters, the middle of the order.
Boma struck out his last at-bat swinging to end the 3rd inning.
First pitch to Boma, inside for a ball at 93. Probably the fastest pitcher we've seen all season.
This is why you're going to play SEC baseball, because you can throw missiles like that.
Baker fires that in there. Swing and a miss. 92.
Really hard to get your bat around fast enough for pitches that fast. Those are major league numbers, Jack.
The 1-1 count for Boma. Facing some high velocity. Boma lines that one to short. Carter Newman there to make the play. Nice little casual grab for him to get the first out of the inning.
I have a feeling already that this pitcher, Jansen Kenty, is going to give these Cropdusters batters some trouble. If he's throwing this fast, forcing this week of contact, it's going to be a long day as long as he's on the bump. He's not only does he go to Alabama, but he got some run in his freshman year as well. His one appearance came in February. He pitched 1 inning with a strikeout against Valparaiso. If you're playing as a freshman at a school like Alabama, you've got some heating. You've got some good stuff.
First pitch to Sanchez in there for a called strike. 93. Baker, really live arm, man. It's not 93 straight, Jish. It's not flat. It's got a lot of movement.
Definitely take a few go-arounds for these Cropdusters bats to get used to it.
That pitch is grounded to second. Diving play by Crosland. And he's going to take the throw off the base. So, an infield single for Patrick Sanchez.
I like that, an infield single, because Sanchez was moving down that base path with some authority, with a lot of urgency.
The throw pulled Gonzalez down the base, but even off the base.
It looked like Sanchez might have beat it.
So Parker Fry, after making just a phenomenal play in right field, get an opportunity with 1 out and a runner on first.
We'll see what our statman Brad has to say about that one on the point streak. Brad tells us it's a hit. Patrick Sanchez gets the first hit off of Jansen Kenty.
Baker misses low. 1-0 count for Fry. Boma leading off of first. 1 out. The 1-0 pitch. Runner goes. DeLisi comes up firing, and that's a stolen base for Ryan Boma.
The throw was on time. It was in there, but the cover from the shortstop, he caught it a little bit between his legs, couldn't make the tag over in time. And a great play from Sanchez to get himself in scoring position, take the double play off the table.
Cropdusters trying to manufacture a run. Boma leading off a second. 1 out. Fry takes that one low. 2-1 count on the big lefty.
He's sitting 92, Jack. This guy has some lethal speed on the bump.
Pitch has got a lot of ride. Fry hits that one softly to second. Crosland fields, puts him away at first. Boma moves over to third, or Sanchez moves over to third. So 2 outs, runner on third for Connor Spellman, the big catcher.
Spellman has walked and struck out this game thus far. He's got Patrick Sanchez at third base, who's shown the speed already, but with 2 outs, he's going to have to put one in play.
Gotta imagine a pass ball could be on the table. DeLisi's had a few today. So that pitch is low for a ball.
It seems as though, despite the increased velocity of Baker on the bump, he's catching this ball a lot better and stopping it from going awry.
2 outs. Cropdusters ahead 5-1. Big swing and a miss by Spellman.
He was quite late on that 93-mile-per-hour fastball low and away. It's really going to take some getting used to.
The 1-1 pitch. Chopped foul down the third baseline. Coach Leader cannot make the play at third, Jish. What's that all about?
I don't know. The saying, those who can't do teach. Well, that's why he's the coach of the Cropdusters, and he isn't playing at third base, that hot corner.
So Sanchez dancing off a third. 1-2 count to Spellman. Baker sets, delivers. Ground ball chopped to Newman. Newman coming in on it. And he'll put away Spellman for the third out of the inning. So Jackson Baker coming in, firing. And we are through 5 innings. Cropdusters ahead 5-1. Jish, just an electrical.
We see this new pitcher come in, his first run of the season. It looks like he hasn't missed a beat since playing down in Tuscaloosa. We'll see how long that Baker is out there, but as long as he is out there, the Cropdusters bats are going to have a hard time.
Well, we're going to head to the top of the 6th inning. Cropdusters trying to hang on to a 5-1 lead. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. We will be right back. To the top of the 6th we go. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. Cropdusters leading 5-1 as Steve Schenning back out there for his 3rd inning of work, and he's been tremendous so far in this one.
2 innings pitched, just 3 hits allowed with 3 strikeouts and no walks. That's the big thing for Steve Schenning. That was his kryptonite last time he played the big train. 2 walks in that one in just 2/3 of an inning. He's definitely got his command back now that he's playing in front of his home fans for the first time.
Skoronsky kicking things off for Bethesda. First pitch to the DH. Just misses inside for a ball. Good slider right on the black for Schenning. Doesn't get the call. Gets the call on that one. That's a backdoor breaking ball. Steve Schenning evens things up at 1-1.
Lefty dealing to righty. This is when you can sneak in those back-breaking sliders.
That pitch in there for a strike. 1-2. Schenning looking to get first hitter out of the inning again.
Skoronski 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Wave and a miss by Skoronski. Schenning punches him out for the first out of the inning on a breaking ball low in the zone.
You know what's better than one strikeout, Jack?
2 strikeouts?
2 strikeouts. That's what I was going to say. Well, at least if you're the pitcher. Josh Skoronski having a bit of a tough showing after being, well, one of the Big Train's more consistent hitters this season. Hitting 1/3 of the time he's up to bat.
That pitch is fluttered into left field. Going back is Okoje. He'll make the running catch. Looked like that was given a ride by Emilio Gonzalez, but a nice running play by the left fielder.
Makes your heart skip a beat a little bit if you're a Cropdusters fan, but Okoje did a great job tracking it. Quick reaction, running back to the warning track and catching it kind of on the backhand. A really athletic play from Okoje out in left field.
That'll bring up Carter Newman. Newman bunts, and it's a good one. Just goes foul down the third baseline. Spellman pounces on it in foul territory.
Newman just trying to catch Schenning off guard with the bunt and a run. But unfortunately, he's now showed his cards with a bunt that sails foul. That'll bring up Boma, you would imagine, although he's still playing with his feet firmly on the dirt. At the third base spot.
To Gonzalez. 2 outs. Excuse me, Newman, who swings and misses at that one. 0-2, 2 outs, 5-1 ball game.
Newman has already struck out twice today, 1 strike away from the third.
Schenning bounces that one in there for a ball. Good 0-2 pitch.
Again, the pressure's kind of off you when you work into these 0-2 counts. You can kind of explore the zone a little bit if you're Steve Schenning.
Schenning works out of the stretch. That ball is fouled back. Nice job by Newman to stay alive as Schenning trying to work through 3 scoreless innings.
Newman's up to 9 strikeouts on the year with today's performance.
The 1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball just misses.
Good.
Evens the count up at 2.
It's a good eye from Newman to stare at that one high.
2's running wild. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Misses. So
too low.
Too low. Good job by Newman. Worked the count full. Nobody on. 2 outs. The full pitch. High for a ball. So Schenning walks Carter Newman to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Nick DeLucy.
Really great job from Newman to battle back. It's easy to kind of get those flashbacks, maybe the 100-mile stare when you've already had 2 strikeouts and you're down 0-2, but Newman stayed patient, didn't hack at anything he didn't like, and takes a base because of it.
Schenning deals. Misses low. 1-0 count on DeLucy. It's Newman leading off of first.
That was Schenning's first walk of the day, too.
He's been in command, cruising so far. That pitch is chopped slowly to second. Lewis fields, fires, and no, the ball gets away to the backstop. That's going to allow Carter Newman to go all the way to third base. Good job by Connor Spellman to back him up, keep him there. But Mac Lewis tried to make an on-the-run throw, ranging far to his glove side, and just throws that one away.
It was a full hard 90 sprint from Mac Lewis at second base. Just couldn't slow down the feet enough to make an on-time throw. Not much you can do if you're Ben Davis, the first baseman. Just a really strategically hit ball from the bottom of the order hitter, DeLucy. It brings up the top.
2 outs, runners on the corners. Jordan Crosland up, and he'll take the first pitch in there for strike 1. And now, Schenning's in a bit of a pickle. Runner at third base, trying to keep the score at a 5-1 Cropdusters lead. The 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Crosland quickly behind 0-2 in the count.
See if Schenning can keep throwing strikes. He was up 0-2 on Newman, now at third base before walking him from the full count.
Back-to-back breaking balls by Schenning. That ball is blocked by Spellman. Newman thought about it at third, but ended up heading back. Another nice job by the catcher.
Great quick location by Spellman. You got to imagine if he's even a second slower, Newman, the speedy Virginia Tech utility player, is coming down that baseline for the second run of the day for the big train.
2 outs, runners on the corners. Schenning trying to get out of the jam. Called strike 3 on the corner. Gets Crosland looking. And Steve Schenning has worked 3 scoreless innings.
A big few, a sigh of relief for these Cropdusters infielders, especially Mac Lewis, who had an error earlier this inning that could have ended the inning. So now the heat gets off of him, the heat gets off of Schenning, and we're up. The Cropdusters bats are up again.
Cropdusters looking to do more damage in the bottom of the 6th as they are ahead 5-1. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. Stay with us for the second half of action. Bottom of the 6th we go. Cropdusters leading Big Train 5-1. As Jackson Baker is trying to continue his electrifying performance for Big Train.
You know, he hasn't thrown a strikeout yet, but he might as well have with the weak contact that he's forcing. Only 1 hit allowed to Pat Sanchez, but he's sitting 92, reaching 93. These warm-ups, he's only touching 89, but we've seen him throw really, really hard this outing. If he can continue to do so, it's going to be a rough day for these Crops bats.
Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call with you. It's going to be 9-2-1 in the lineup for the Dusters. Ben Davis leading things off. Smoked a ball to center field last time up. Great play by the center fielder Williamson to rob him of a hit. Davis will take a called strike. Fastball.
90 miles per hour low. Ben Davis needs a little bit to figure out this guy's timing.
When you're struggling like Davis is right now, this is not the pitcher you want to face. As Davis waves at that one. He did go round, so Davis now down 0-2.
And a pitch that was well far low and well far outside. Davis playing with a little bit of fear.
Baker working quickly. The 0-2 pitch. Low in the dirt. 1-2.
He's trying to work a little bit more movement, sacrificing a little bit of speed, but Davis sees that one well, righty dealing to lefty. That's always going to benefit the batter.
Baker working out of the stretch. Davis chops that one foul. Stays alive at 1-2.
That time he was ahead of the pitch, so it seems as though the speed hasn't gotten the best of Davis just yet after that first pitch.
Cropdusters ahead 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Ben Davis at the plate. Swing and a miss, a strikeout for Jackson Baker. Gets the first batter of the inning in Davis. And that'll bring up Bryce Herb, the leadoff hitter.
Bryce Herb, 1 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch.
Bryce Herb has been having a fantastic game, fantastic start to the season for the speedy outfielder. And he'll take a called strike, breaking ball inside. Gets the corner.
Bryce Herb took a step back. It looked as though the pitch was gearing towards his head before it broke back into the strike zone.
1 out, nobody on for the center fielder, Herb. We're going to check down at first. He did not go, so Herb evens it up at 1-1.
when a pitcher throws with this much speed, if you're a batter, you don't know when to swing, when to hold. It's going to be a real challenge for these Cropdusters. The first time Herb is seeing this guy to put the pieces together.
Baker speeding everything up. That pitch is in there for a called strike at 91. Baker maintaining his velocity in his second full inning of work.
A little two-seam action, cutting out then in against the righty.
The 1-2 pitch in there. Swing and a miss. Bryce Herb goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jackson Baker.
You're not going to catch Herb swinging at the outside pitch, so what do? You work inside. Get him swinging for strike 3. This pitcher, Baker, has these Cropdusters batters around his finger right now.
That'll bring up Mac Lewis. Had a couple of good at-bats today. Did have the throwing error in the second. 2 outs, nobody on. Dusters up 5-1. Pitch inside for a ball. Lewis ahead 1-0.
One thing about this Cropdusters lineup today, only 2 Division I players, Mac Lewis from Purdue being one of them. Perhaps he'll have a better plan against the D1 pitcher from Alabama, Jackson Baker.
That one is in there for a called strike. And this Big Train lineup is chock full of D1 talent.
Every pitcher, every player we've seen bat today goes to a Division I school. A lot of them Power 5 as well.
Pitch is fouled back. 1-2 count on Lewis. And that's just sometimes how baseball goes, Jish. A lot of D1 players playing today for Big Train. Only 2 for the Cropdusters. Yet the Cropdusters are leading 5-1.
I was going to say, but scoreboard, Jack.
The 1-2 pitch outside for a ball.
The scoreboard does not care what school you go to, as it seems.
2 outs, 2-2 count. Second baseman Mac Lewis up at the dish.
The best things in life comes in twos.
Baker sets, fires. Looks like he went around at third. Lewis not liking that call, so another strikeout for Jackson Baker, striking out the side in the bottom of the 6th inning. And we will head to the top of the 7th. Cropdusters ahead 5-1. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. Stay with us. We head to the top of the 7th. Cropdusters ahead of Bethesda Big Train 5-1, and a new pitcher for the Cropdusters. That's the lefty Ben Berger, who looked absolutely filthy in his last outing against the Braves.
It's really a tale of 2 outings for Ben Berger. His first game against the Thunderbolts only went 1 1/3 inning. Didn't look the best, he'll even admit that wasn't his best stuff, but against the Braves, through 4 innings, absolutely shut down all batters. He saw 4 strikeouts in that game. We talked to him after the game. He was just mad that the closer, Pavlos Piparakis, had more than him in 2 innings of work.
That was a great game for all of the pitching staff. Ben Berger is a guy, mixes in a lot of pitches, has some lethal breaking stuff, and he's going to face off against middle of the order for the Big Train. Looks like it's going to be Andrew Williamson, the center fielder, stepping up to the plate. Berger gets the advantageous lefty-lefty matchup to kick things off.
It's kind of funny, Jack. We started with Snowberger. Now we've got Berger. Berger hold the snow, I guess you could say.
First pitch to Williamson. inside for a ball. That pitch at 85, so that's right around where you expect Berger's velocity to be.
You wonder if there's a confusion with the sign, though. Spellman got a glove on it, but he's talking to Ben Berger after the first pitch. You got to wonder if there was just a little bit of confusion between what pitch was actually being thrown first off.
Still very early in the season, teammates still getting to know each other. Cross-up, definitely a possibility between the Jacksonville catcher and the Frostburg pitcher.
Spellman's caught for 2 great pitchers already, with Jonah Snowberger and Steve Shenning combined for 8 strikeouts, just 1 run coming across for the big train.
Williamson fouls that one down the third baseline, out of play. That'll even the count up at 1 apiece.
Ben Berger throws his first strike there.
Berger works from the windup with nobody on. Really repeatable mechanics. That breaking ball just misses on the inside corner. 2-1.
72 out of his hand. It looked like he was trying to cut it back in on the slider, but just could not locate it. Pitched a little too wide. We'll see if his command continues.
Williamson takes low for a ball, so a hitter's count for the speedy center fielder. 3-1, no outs, nobody on. Cropdusters ahead 5-1 here in the top of the 7th. The 3-1 is driven into right field, and that ball looks like it's off the wall. Parker Fry fields it, fires into second, and a leadoff double for Andrew Williamson, getting things going for the big train in the 7th.
You know, Jack, neither side has scored since the 2nd inning. So to get a runner in scoring position already against the new pitcher not only is good in the terms of baseball strategy, but just good for the confidence of these big train hitters.
Big Train is going to have to start putting some runs on the board if they want a chance to climb back into this one. And a good guy to do it here in Jordan Crosland. Just has been mashing against the Cropdusters in the first game, mashing all season long. And he'll take a called strike, fastball up in the zone.
Ben Berger hitting 84 on that fastball. He told us to let him know if he ever hits 89, but it's not quite there yet. Let's give him a few innings to break in.
Crosland, big swing and a miss. He goes down 0-2. Boy, he's had some home run swings today.
Absolutely. It looked like he kind of choked up a little bit on that swing, was trying to put one in the outfield to bring home a runner, but gets no part of the ball.
No outs. Runner on second. Crosland sends that to short. Patrick Sanchez diving play. Makes the throw. That's going to be an easy infield single for Jordan Crosland. Beats it out without too much trouble.
Wow, what a Superman-esque play from Pat Sanchez at short. 91 off the bat of Crosland, but Sanchez laying out, makes the grab. The throw, of course, I don't think he really had a chance to make it, but it does stop that runner at second, who could have came all the way around if it poked through to the outfield.
It's a great stop by Sanchez. Probably should have ate the throw, and now Big Train has runners on first and second, no outs for Whitaker, and Whitaker pops that one down the third base side in foul territory. That's going to land out of play. Boma gave it a run, but ran out of room.
Boma getting right up to the bullpen of the Big Train.
This is one of those pivotal spots in a game where Big Train can get right back into it with a good swing by Davin Whitaker.
If Whitaker gets on base, it brings the tying run to the plate.
Berger comes set. Checks at Williamson at second. Delivers. Just misses on the outside corner. 1-1 count.
What we've seen so far today is pitchers who struggle in their first inning really find the zone in their second, but Berger has a jam to get out of.
That pitch is fouled back out of play.
Berger will have to figure it out in a hurry with runners at first and second. And no outs still. That's the real kicker.
Berger gets ahead of Whitaker. 1-2 in the count. Still no outs. Big Train trailing to the Cropdusters 5-1. Runners on first and second. Berger's trying to work out of trouble. Whitaker sends that one into right field for a single. Fry fields it. And they're going to stop the runners as Williamson holds up at third. They saw Fry's arm earlier in the game, Jish, and they want no part of that.
Fry hosed down a runner at the plate to rob the big train of a run and end the inning just a few frames ago. Fry with another impressive throw to halt the run at third.
But now Ben Berger in quite the jam for the Cropdusters. Bases loaded, no outs. As Christopher Diaz comes up to the plate. Diaz takes that one for a called strike on the outside corner. 86 for Berger, so Velo's starting to tick up a little bit.
Diaz has been in this situation before in the first inning. Bases loaded, he walked to send in the only run of the day for the big train.
Big spot for the right fielder, trying to get his team back into the game. That pitch misses outside. 1-1 count for the lefty. Berger working quickly out of the windup with the bases loaded. That ball gets away from Spellman, or recover quickly. Runners stay put. 2-1 count on Diaz. We've seen Berger be electric. We've seen him just have days where he can't find the zone. So trying to put it together. That's a good breaking ball in there for a called strike. Evens the count up at 2 apiece.
Way to get it back. After a pitch runs well away from Spellman, he doesn't care. He steps back in and throws a strike. That's the kind of resilience you need from Ben Berger with bases loaded.
The 2-2 just misses low. So full count, bases loaded, nobody out for the big right fielder, Christopher Diaz. Ben Berger in a huge jam in the 7th inning.
Diaz hit a homer already this season. Another one would tie it up.
Berger delivers. Diaz fouls it back out of play. Keeps the count full.
And keeps the suspense up here in the press booth, too. This is one of the more pivotal moments we've seen since the first 2 frames, Jack.
Just an absolute game-changing at-bat for Christopher Diaz. The weight of the team on his shoulders here in the 7th as we're getting into the later innings. The full count pitch in there for a called strike. Berger gets the corner. 1 out. Base is still loaded for the big train.
This brings up the double play that could end the inning. A huge strikeout at the plate for Ben Berger. It's easy to really get in your own head with bases loaded. We've seen it a couple times today. Pitchers have done a good job getting out of these jams, and Ben Berger adds his name to that list.
That'll bring up Josh Skoronsky with 1 out. He'll take a first pitch strike. Another breaking ball from Ben Berger. If your last name's Berger, got to be able to throw a good slider, Jish.
It better be tasty, too.
The 0-1. Just misses high. Evens count up at 1-1.
Barely misses high. A tempting pitch for a batter to swing at, but no dice, instead a ball.
Skoronsky has been great all season long. Sends that one into right field. Fry giving chase. Fry makes the running catch. He's going to throw into third. That'll score a run for the big train. So they get a run back with 2 outs. 5-2 ball game in the top of the 7th as Christopher Diaz, Andrew Williamson comes home on the sacrifice fly.
Sometimes you just need to see one go in. You hear that with a lot of shooters in basketball. That's the big train's first run since the first inning. Perhaps it can lead to a bevy of things for them.
Pitch outside for a ball. That'll bring up Emilio Gonzalez with 2 outs and the runners on the corners. And if Bethesda Big Train wants to win this ball game, they're going to need to put up another run here. Wave and a miss from Gonzalez. And if Berger can get through this with only giving up 1 run, all things considered, phenomenal job.
A lot of movement on that slider, too, from Ben Berger. Starting in, breaking out. The lefty didn't have a prayer.
The 1-1. On the black for a called strike. 1-2 count. Berger mixes it up very well. Has the fastball, cutter, slider, changeup. A lot of pitches, a lot of weapons at his disposal. The 1-2 is hit through the hole on the left side. That'll score a run. RBI single for Emilio Gonzalez, and this is a 2-run ball game. as Big Train has climbed back into it and are now trailing 5-3 in the 7th.
The difference between this inning and the ones before is the Big Train are finally putting in these runners in scoring position. The fact that there's runners in scoring position at all is a testament to their resilience. Steve Shedding did a good job keeping the base runners off. Snowberger had some trouble early, but Ben Berger is loading up these bases early.
Pitch taken inside for a ball from Carter Newman, the shortstop, who has had a couple of strikeouts today. Berger takes a deep breath, delivers. That misses high. 2-0 on Newman. Big Train is looking to tack on even another run in the 7th. Two-out hitting for Bethesda.
Newman is the go-ahead run. He walked his last at-bat from a full count after striking out his first 2 times. 2 balls away from doing so. He's getting some encouragement from the runner at second.
The 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 2-1. Runners at first and second. 2 outs.
Good north-south run from Ben Berger to get himself on the board against this batter.
Cropdusters ahead 5-3 in the top of the 7th. Berger delivers. Fouled back. 2-2. So, Berger trying to maintain the lead for the Cropdusters. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runners on first and second for Carter Newman. Berger comes set. Runners go. That pitch is grounded weakly to third. Boma makes the on-the-run throw, and they got him at first. A good job by Ryan Boma to make the play, and Ben Berger gets out of it, but not before a big inning for Bethesda Big Train, and we will head to the bottom of the 7th. Cropdusters ahead 5-3. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. Stay with us. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call. 5-3 ball game after a big inning by Bethesda Big Train. And it's not going to get any easier for the Cropdusters as Jackson Baker is out there for another inning of work. He's been electric so far, Jish.
The Cropdusters haven't scored since the 2nd inning, and Jackson Baker is making sure that's the case. He just got some bat support at the top of this frame. The Big Train brought in their first 2 runs since the 1st inning. So the Cropdusters need a little bit of a sense of urgency to get some more runs on the board before the Big Train take advantage of this momentum.
It's going to be the 3-4-5 heart of the order for the Dusters. Carter Hines leading things off. If anyone can hit high velocity, it's him. Just such an impressive contact hitter. Hines takes first pitch of the at-bat for a called strike right down the middle.
Carter Hines, his first time facing off against Baker. Still hitless today with a walk his last at-bat. A little too patient with that pitch.
The 0-1 misses for a ball, evens things up at 1-1. Carter Hines, one of the hardest players in all of college baseball to strike out.
In Division II, he ranked 13th, and the hardest to strike out. Has won this season, though.
Not a lot of power, but boy, can he put bat on ball. As Baker delivers inside for a ball. 2-1 on Hines.
Hines seeing the zone well. except for that first pitch, which was right down the middle.
So stoic in the batter's box, so calm. Undeterred. The 2-1. Fouled off his foot, evens things up 2-2.
Yeah, walk that one off. That must have hurt. Sending a really, really filthy pitch right into his foot. A lot of speed on it. Probably even more speed off the bat.
If you're coach leader in the Cropdusters, you would love to get one back after the big inning from the big train.
At least one.
Fouled off again by Hines. So hard to strike out, Jish.
He's going to make this pitcher work. This is probably the most that Jackson Baker has had to work thus far for his food. He did strike out a few the previous inning. Only one hit allowed thus far. Struck out the side last time. He's one strike away from his 4th consecutive.
The 2-2 pitch. High and inside for a ball. So Hines has worked the count full. Exactly what you want the leadoff hitter to do to start off the inning.
Watch the fingers, Carter, though. He keeps the bat glued to his shoulder, but the ball came really close to the mitts.
The full count pitch. It's grounded weakly to short. Coming in is Newman. And Newman bobbles it. Can't make the play. So the leadoff runner reaches for the Cropdusters. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Ehi Akoje.
Ehi Akoje still looking for his first hit of the day, but how about the beeline from Carter Hines down first base line?
Ehi Akoje has had some hard hit balls right at outfielders recently. Hines a threat to go at first. Akoje steps in, swings and misses at the first pitch of the at-bat.
Great left to right movement from the righty. Gets beyond the bat of a swinging Akoje.
Hines taking an aggressive lead. He goes. The throw from DeLisi. Not in there. Hines gets around the tag. So a runner in scoring position with no outs for the Dusters.
The throw was on time, but just like Carter Hines' last steal, the glove tag was not on his body.
DeLisi has spiked both his throws down to second today, as Akoje has a runner in scoring position opportunity, down 0-2, trying to tack on to their 5-3 lead. That pitch hits Akoje in the back. Base was open for Baker, so Cropdusters have something cooking now. Runners on first and second, nobody out for Ryan Bowman.
It seems almost like the Cropdusters are on base by accident. It started with a throwing error from the shortstop, then a throwing error from the catcher behind the dish, and now a hit by pitch. They need a whole meeting to just reconvene and get back together. They're only down 2, and they need to hold these Cropdusters runners.
That can be so frustrating for a pitcher to get into this kind of jam without giving up a hard hit ball. So DeLisi just going out, settle him down a little bit.
Especially when you're up 0-2 against a batter, to hit him when you're just one pitch away from putting him home.
Something you cannot do.
Makes it even more frustrating.
So, runners on first and second, no outs for the third baseman, Boma. Baker comes set, gives a look at the runner at second. Comes back. Boma turns to bunt, takes it for a ball, and wow. Gonzalez over at first really comes down that line.
He's tenacious for those bunts. It seems that this is something they practice in IO. They've got the second baseman, Crossland, shading over to first as well.
You don't see too many guys doing that, even in the MLB. Boma goes to square again. That's a called strike.
And it seems as though the strategy is Gonzalez is going to pick up anything that's bunted in the infield, regardless of what side it goes to. We saw a bunt go down the third base line previously this game, and Gonzalez ran all the way over to get it. Let's see if the first baseman does so again, right at the pitcher's mound.
Boma gets it right back to Baker. Baker goes to first for the out, gets the out at first. Ryan Boma does a job, advances the runners to second and third. That's a tough guy to get a bunt down against.
And that looked well rehearsed, too. You see Crossland shading over from second to first. Easily, the pitcher's the one who does make the play, not Gonzalez. but it puts two runners in scoring position with the sac fly on the table. It's just real smart baseball from Ryan Boma to bring the runners across, or bring the runners to advance the runners.
Runners on second and third with one out for Patrick Sanchez. Unbelievable defensive shortstop. Has some pop, too. So he's looking to drive a ball into the outfield, get a run in. Infield will come in for the big train. As that one is chopped to third. They'll get the out. Runners stay put. It's a really nice play to pick the short hop by Davin Whitaker and make the throw.
Absolutely, Jack. And that seemed very similar to Patrick Sanchez's last hit against Jackson Baker, a chopper down the left field side. But with runners at second and third, that's not the strategy you want to go with.
I'll bring up Parker Fry. Has had some nice plays in the outfield today and right. Still looking to get his season going offensively. Two outs, runners on second and third. Baker trying to work out of trouble. That ball is chopped again to third. Whitaker fields, fires, low throw. Gonzalez can't pick it. Run will come home to score. Parker Hines scores 2 runs, or 1 run scores on the play, on the error. And it's a 6-3 ball game.
I don't know exactly what happened there. Whitaker threw one really fast and really low. You saw the ball just trickle out of Gonzalez's glove. And the Cropdusters again capitalizing on big train errors.
Runners on the corners for Connor Spellman. 2 outs. Pitch low for a ball. Baker not really giving up any hard contact, but gives up a run. Fry taking his lead off first. Situation where we could see him go. Pitch misses low. 2-0 on Spellman, who just seems to be an on-base machine.
Spellman does draw a lot of walks, gets hit a few times, but really this is a successful inning regardless of what Spellman does here. The fact that they could score a run to bounce back, even if he leaves a runner stranded at third, the Cropdusters can respond to the big train's haymakers. That's exactly what you need late in the game. If they attack, we also attack.
Another ball by Baker. 3-0 count for the Jacksonville catcher in Spellman. 2 outs, runners on the corners. Cropdusters ahead 6-3. Pitch is in there for a called strike. 90 miles an hour.
Filthy, filthy arm side action. The two-seamer cuts out, makes it back in, buried in no man's land for the first strike.
The 3-1 pitch is taken for ball 4, so another walk for Connor Spellman, and the bases are juiced.
Birds fly, fish swim, Connor Spellman gets on base. His 10th walk of the season, that leads the Cropdusters by far, and here comes a pinch hitter and a dangerous one at that. Jimmy Kirk homered his last time he played the big train, and now he steps up to bat in relief of Ben Davis, the first baseman.
The Ripken League current home run leader, Jimmy Kirk, one of the most prolific power hitters in Ripken League history, will saunter his way up to the dish with the bases juiced and 2 outs. Huge spot in this ball game. Cropdusters ahead 6-3.
Jimmy Kirk is yet to hit a home run out of this ballpark. All of his homers have come on their own, including at Shirley Povich Field where the big train play. He's already hit a grand slam this season with bases loaded. Let's see if he does it again.
Kirk just missed a homer against the Aces the other day. Big breath by Baker. Big wave and a miss by Jimmy Kirk. Gets him on the slider to go down 0-1. And Jimmy Kirk is just an unbelievable opposite field hitter. Can take the ball with ease over that right field fence. Baker comes set. Kirk will call time. Base is still juiced. 2 outs.
There was an article written about Jimmy Kirk about what's different this year. He says pitchers are throwing him more off speed than they have in years past. They're really picking up on his patterns.
The 0-1 pitched. Taken for a ball, so Kirk evens things up at 1-1. And you knew this was a weapon Coach Leader was going to utilize off the bench at some point, just a matter of when. Decides to pull the trigger now, 2 outs, bases juiced, Baker versus Kirk. That pitch is in there for a called strike. 90 miles an hour, right down the middle.
It seems as though there's two fastballs that Baker's working with, a four-seamer and a two-seamer. That one really sat in that upper right corner, didn't have a lot of movement.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Baker beats Kirk to get out of the inning, leave the bases loaded, 1 run for the Cropdusters. So they take a 6-3 lead here as we head to the top of the 8th. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call for you. Stay with us. We head to the top of the 8th. Some defensive changes for Coach Leader and the Cropdusters. Looks like Parker Fry will move to first base. The center fielder Bryce Herb will move to right, and in center will be Brian Scott.
It's really interesting. The Cropdusters love Jimmy Kirk to swing, but they haven't really tested him that much in the field. Only one start as a first baseman this season, his position, and he could have slotted in for Ben Davis after he pinch hit for him in the bottom of the 7th.
Still on the mound. That pitch misses for a ball. The number 9 hitter, Nick DeLisi, up at the plate. The 1-0 is lined to second. Nice play by Mac Lewis to snag that one out of the air for the first out of the inning.
A great turnaround from Mac Lewis, already with 2 errors today, including the last time he faced Alicia throwing error. Good to see him pick that one like a cherry and get the bottom of the order out.
So, 1 out, nobody on. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Jaden Bastian. Cropdusters ahead of Big Train 6-3. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky with you on the call. Snowberger, after a shaky first inning of work, trying to bounce back. Got the leadoff hitter out. That pitch is popped high in the infield. Boma camping under it at third. And he'll make the play for the second out of the inning. 2 quick outs from the Frostburg reliever.
You know, it's an encouraging sign, but we've seen things get away from these pitchers, especially against the Big Train. You get 2 quick outs. Now you really have to finish the job. That's got to be emphasized by this coaching staff, especially this late in the game. Cropdusters up with just 2 innings left. Just finish the job. Cropdusters with 2 outs in the top of this 8th.
Williamson up at the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. First pitch misses for ball 1. Williamson has had a day, couple of hard hit balls. 2-0 count as Berger has fell behind the center fielder. Working quickly is Berger. The 2-0 is fouled straight back, 2-1.
Great placement from Berger. High in the zone of the fastball. Gave Williamson something he could want to turn on with a 2-0 count, but just couldn't get the bat elevated enough. Bounces off the top of the barrel for a foul.
The 2-1. Breaking ball just misses the top of the zone. 3-1. Hitters count for Andrew Williamson.
Impeccable movement, and if I'm in the box, I'm swinging at that, but Andrew Williamson does a good job looking at the ball.
Williamson takes another breaking ball, this one in there for a called strike. So the count is full, 3-2, 2 outs, nobody on for the speedy center fielder. Full count pitch, foul back, we'll do it again. Cropdusters leading 6-3 in the top of the 8th. Big Train has wormed their way back into the ball game and are still in this one. The 3-2 popped into the air, shallow left field. Okoje after it. He's not going to get there. Williamson is going to race into second base. And a double for Williamson with 2 outs. And Big Train has something going here.
The Big Train are on the tracks for sure with the tying run on deck. Credit Okoje for making the long run, losing the hat trying to get there. But again, hit to that spot right above, right just beyond the infield, too far up for the outfielder to make the play. There has to be maybe an adjustment in positioning with this left fielder. Maybe the infielders have to play a little bit back, but that's the second time we've seen a ball hit to that exact same spot with the same result.
2 outs, runner on second for Crosland. First pitch misses for ball 1. Crosland, such a dangerous power hitter. He can cut this lead to 1 with 1 swing of the bat. The Maryland infielder has had a really nice start to the season. The 1-0. Grounded to Boma at third. Boma can't make the play, and Crosland is going to reach on the error. That's just a chopper with some English on it. Boma could not pick it.
The ball didn't bounce as high as Boma was expecting. The glove elevation was too far up. The ball kind of stopped bouncing after 2 hops, rolled underneath his glove. Really hard for him to track and to make the play, but again, he's not traditionally a third baseman. Played third base in high school, but in college he's been primarily and only a second baseman. So still just getting used to playing the hot corner again.
Whitaker is the tying run at the dish. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Misses, ball 1 in one of the most high-pressure situations of the game so far. Spanberger takes a deep breath. He needs 1 more out to get out of the inning and send it to the 9th. Big swing and a miss from Whitaker. Count evened up at 1 apiece.
Whitaker is exactly who you want to hit if you're the Big Train. 2 for 2 on the day so far. You like seeing him go big with those swings.
Runner goes. That pitch is hooked foul down the first base side. Make it 1-2. Ben Berger 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. 2 outs. Cropdusters leading Big Train 6-3. Runners at first and second for the third baseman, Davin Whitaker. Lefty on lefty against Ben Berger, the pitcher. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Berger gets out of the jam to send the Cropdusters to the bottom of the 8th inning with the lead intact.
Ice in his veins, Ben Berger with a huge strikeout on the Big Train's leading hitter. You ask him to show up in big moments, and show up he does.
Ben Berger, so calm, so cool, so collected coming off of the mound. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky with you on the call, and we will be back to go to the bottom of the 8th. Cropdusters had 6-3. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Cropdusters leading Big Train 6-3. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky with you on the call. And a new pitcher for Bethesda, Aiden Rittenor, the righty from Shepherd, will take the mound.
Rittenauer is one of those returners for the Big Train pitching staff. Only 3 appearances for the Big Train last summer. Now in his 3rd appearance, this time versus the Cropdusters. And an interesting nugget about Rittenauer is that his only strikeout of last season came against the Cropdusters.
Well, he's going to try to give the Big Train a chance to come back in the top of the 9th.
This season, his stats have not necessarily told the kindest story to him. A 9 ERA, second lowest or second highest on the team, excuse me. But that's a small sample size. 3 earned runs in 3 innings pitched. Still, the season's still young for Aiden Rittenauer.
Cropdusters trying to tack on some much valuable insurance runs.
Took them a little bit to get that 6th run on the board after scoring 5 in the first 2.
And they're going to have the top of the lineup to do it. Leadoff hitter Bryce Herb steps to the plate. Start things off against the right-handed reliever. Just a phenomenal walk-up song. I say it every game, Jish.
It's one of your favorites. You know, we've heard some stinkers of walk-up songs around the league, so we'll take a nice solid one from Bryce Herb. I'll give it a solid.
Herb fouls the first pitch out of play down the right field side.
We were at the Silver Spring Tacoma game, and we had a batter walk up to some Marvin Gaye. So, why is that your walk-up song?
Jish, I feel like you find a way to sneak in some singing every game. The 0-1,
if you want to call that
just
singing.
misses low.
Maybe an attempt at singing, but my point still stands, regardless of if I'm singing or not. Why are you walking up to Marvin Gaye? Is that really going to hype you up?
Rittenauer takes a deep breath, delivers. Herb thought about it. That pitch catches the outside corner for 1-2.
Rittenauer comes in relief of Jackson Baker, who was throwing a lot harder. Up to 93 on his pitches. That one's 74 out of Rittenauer's hand.
The 1-2 is laced right to the first baseman, Gonzalez, for the first out of the inning. Herb hit it hard, but right at Emilio Gonzalez.
Gonzalez didn't start for the Big Train last time they played the Cropdusters, but his defensive prowess is on display there. He's made some great defensive plays, great defensive instincts as well. It's why he's getting the start today.
That brings up the second baseman, Mac Lewis. He's had a great game offensively, multiple hits. He'll take the first pitch high for ball 1.
Multiple times on base. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and a strikeout. But an RBI on a single back in the second.
The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Looked like he barely got a piece of it, a little bit too far in front of that swing. So now he's even at a chopstick count.
1 out. 1-1 count. That hits off the handle of the bat for Lewis. 1-2.
He tried checking his swing, but the fact that he moved the bat at all put it in position to be hit. A really unfortunate strike to take for Mac Lewis.
Cropdusters leading in the bottom of the 8th, 6-3. Rittenauer takes a deep breath, delivers. Just misses the outside corner. Count goes to 2-2.
Credit the catcher DeLisi for trying to frame it as a strike, but the umpire is not fooled.
That one is swung through and missed. Mac Lewis goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Carter Hines, with 2 outs and nobody on.
Carter Hines, uncharacteristically, has no hits today. 0 for 3 with a walk. He reached off an error his last at-bat using his speed. But his first hit here would be absolutely huge for the Cropdusters. The fans have fallen silent. It's a huge moment for sure.
2 outs, nobody on. First pitch to Hines. Chopped foul. 0-1. Boy, you don't say the statement Carter Hines has gone hitless that often.
Only one other time could you have said that, or at least in one other start. He did come in and pinch hit for one game and went 0 for 1 that game, but that doesn't really count. Very small sample size.
The 0-1 is fouled off the right field screen. 0-2.
Both pitches that Hines has swung at. The first one, definitely a ball. The second one, could have been called a ball as well.
So Hines quickly behind in the count. 0-2, 2 outs, Rittenor trying to end the inning. And he does. Called strike 3 on the corner. Fastball caught Hines looking. And now, Jish, we will head to the top of the 9th. Cropdusters ahead 6-3, trying to close it out for the first victory of the year against Bethesda Big Train. Will Ben Berger come back out to close? Will we see someone different? Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call with you. Stay tuned for the top of the 9th. Three more outs for the Cropdusters to get to finalize the victory. Ben Berger back out there for the save. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky with you on the call. Jish, this is it. Crunch time.
It does not get bigger than this, Jack. Ben Berger is the pitcher that the Cropdusters trust in this situation. He's credited with 2 wins on the season, now looking for his first save, only up by 3 in the top of the 9th. It all comes down to this.
He's gotten himself into some sticky situations. For the most part, has been able to work out of trouble, has held the lead through his first 2 innings of work. And that's going to bring up a pinch hitter, Matthew Wesley from Virginia Tech. Coach Colangelo trying to throw everything he can at this Cropdusters team to come away with the victory. Berger, so calm under pressure. Spikes the first one behind in the count 1-0.
Wesley was a guy who started in the cleanup spot for the Big Train last time they played the Cropdusters. They obviously trust him.
The 1-0 in there for a called strike. Cutter on the outside corner. Berger evens it up at 1 apiece. That pitch is nubbed just in front of the plate. Berger will field it himself, make the throw for the first out of the inning. Get Wesley on the chopper back to the pitcher. So Big Train is down to their final 2 outs.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes? Great job from Ben Berger, staying calm, making the play on the fair hit ball, and making the throw on time and on the money.
Another pinch hitter for Bethesda Big Train. This one, Keenan Bowman from ECU. We'll take the first pitch low for a ball. He's trying to get something started for this Big Train team. Cropdusters ahead 6-3. Pitch is taken low for a ball again. So Bowman has worked a 2-0 count against Berger. 1 out. The 2-0. Taken outside for a ball. 3-0.
It's really good work from Bowman, seeing the zone well, not being fooled by any of the pitches that the lefty Berger's throwing.
Pinch hitting, one of the hardest things in all of baseball to do. The 3-0 pitch. Bowman squares the bunt, pulls back, and Bethesda Big Train have found their first base runner of the inning. 1 out, runner on first, as they are trailing 3 runs. And boy, another pinch hitter for Bethesda Big Train. 3 straight. Peyton Prescott.
He is a pitcher, Jack. He started against the Cropdusters on the mound last time they played.
First pitch high for a ball. 3 straight pinch hitters for Sal Colangelo.
It's not Prescott's first rodeo at the plate either. He's coming for some at-bats. Still no hits and 5 at-bats, but they like to move him around as a 2-way.
Prescott watches that fastball down the middle for a strike. 1-1.
You'd imagine he, as a pitcher, would do a better job diagnosing balls and strikes. Still hasn't swung the bat yet, but stares at one right down the middle.
1 out. The 1-1. Taken for a ball inside. So 2-1 count on Prescott. Runner on first. Ben Berger trying to close things out for the Cropdusters. They are ahead 6-3. Berger delivers. That pitch is popped up into foul territory. Fry under it. Makes the play for the second out of the inning. And the Cropdusters are 1 out away.
A huge play from Parker Fry. An even better pitch from Ben Berger to force a pop-up. And yet another pinch hitter for the big train on the way.
4 straight. Sal Colangelo trying to do everything in his power as Big Train head coach to win this game. Berger 1 out away. Franklin watches a strike go by. 2 outs. Runner on first. Cropdusters ahead 6-3.
Franklin has struck out more than any other Big Train batter with 10 this season.
Franklin hammers one left field. Akoje camping under it at the wall, and he makes the catch to end the game. Franklin gave it a ride, but Ehi Akoje comes away with the catch, and the Cropdusters come away with the victory 6-3 against their rival.
A fantastic performance from today's starter and bullpen. The 3 pitchers, Snowberger, Schenning, and Berger, absolutely neutralize these Big Train bats. They deserve all the credit for today's win. Ben Berger will walk away with the save. Steve Schenning with the win. Absolutely some of the best pitching we've seen from these Cropdusters, and they're now at 500, Jack, a chase they've looked at for so long.
Just always feels a little bit different when you're able to come away with a victory against your rival, Bethesda Big Train. Cropdusters get the job done. Their next game will be tomorrow night against the Gaithersburg Giants here at Servpro Stadium at home. Great pitching performance, great offensive performance. Jack Feldman, Jish Sokolsky on the call, and we will see you guys next time for Cropdusters Baseball.